Hey guys, there's been a lot of talk about buyer agency. What's going on with buyer agency? Well, kind of not a lot different than what we currently have been doing, but the most current, and this could change again, so don't beat me up over if it does, because they keep changing things. It appears every couple of weeks. But on August 17th, buyer agency, the requirement, and this is not going to be a choice, it's going to be a law. So any real estate agent that shows you any house, by law, is going to have a buyer agency form signed by you stating commission levels and all these different sort of things. All right. We already do buyer agency forms just because it's a good way to do business. I mean, a good business practice for us anyways. I don't want to spend a lot of my time, 6, 8 hours, 10 hours, going around and showing somebody properties, and then before we even get to the point where we start to negotiate the offer, they decide to, use a cousin or something like that that is a realtor in Orlando as their agent, which that happens, right? So as a business practice, we use buyer agency forms to protect ourselves, right? And in the end of the day scenario, we also do a lot of things that other brokers don't, or not brokers. I'm sorry, I'm a broker associate, but I almost called myself a broker. I'm not. I'm a team leader at the Andrew Berg Group. We arm our buyers with an awful lot of information before we even go out and look, right? We really work very hard to educate our buyers on correct processes for buying, just like there's correct processes for selling. Having as much information as possible at your fingertips is a very important thing. Understanding the actual costs of owning a home, which particularly for our first-time home buyers, but in a lot of cases I find for our second-time home buyers and third-time home buyers, is a really important thing to do. So we like to try to spend some time with our customers before we even go out and make sure that we are approaching things in the right way for them, targeting the right properties for them, and that we have as much information for them as possible, including everything from statistics, what's the market doing, the same things that we need to have for our sellers to explain to them accurately what we can get them for the home. Buyers need to know that too. If you just go out willy-nilly and throw darts, especially right now, because if you haven't noticed, pricing is all over the board. You can have a very similar house. You can have 4 similar houses. Let's just say Loxahatchee, 1.15 acre houses, 3 bedrooms, 1,800 square feet, and you could have them priced at, I don't know, $575, $650, $7, and then you've got somebody that's got one for $900 because it has a pool. I'm not saying it's right, but that's really what happens. So you need to know what the actual costs are and what's been going on in the market. A lot of buyers right now are afraid of being in the market because they think that the market is still super elevated and crazy. Now, we're putting aside the rates, we're putting aside all that. Right now is almost one of the best times, if you ask me, to get into the market to buy. The rate's still not great, right? But when the rate comes down, it's not going to plummet. It's going to come down a little bit, and it's going to gradually come down, right? But right now, there's a lot of homes out there that are sitting there. There's a lot of homes out there that we can negotiate on pretty heavily to get you a really good deal right now. Once whatever that switch is, that triggers, that makes all of the buyers say, now is the time to buy, that's going to go away, and we're going to have another little resurgence of a market where it's going to be multiple offers. We're going to have to compete with other people for the homes that you want. Right now is, again, like in my opinion, one of the best times for you to buy. We can use different programs too right now that were more difficult to negotiate in, like rate buy downs, where we can buy down your rate 2% the first year, 1% the next year, and then you go to the prevailing rate, or even a 3-2-1, right? And then by that time, those rates should have, no crystal ball here, come down to a more reasonable number, and you can refinance your property. But again, the most important difference between the way the Andrew Berg Group does business with buyers and a lot of other people, especially right now, because there's agents that will just say, yep, let's go get in the car, and they just want to get you out to places, and the first one that you even think about liking, they're going to go, yeah, let's get it, That's not the right way to do it. Right now, is like I said, there's a plethora of properties out there. It's a buyer's market today, period. It's in your best interest to spend a little bit of time, doing the boring stuff, coming into the office with us, sitting down, letting us go over the market with you, letting us go over market research with you, letting us get you pre-approved with whichever lender you choose, but make sure that we know what your actual monthly costs are going to be. Make sure we know what your upfront costs are going to be. Make sure we know what programs are available for you. Right now, there's everything from $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 grants from almost every lender for first-time home buyer, which is somebody that hasn't owned a primary property in 3 years. But there's stuff for people that aren't first-time home buyers. We have Hometown Heroes. Hometown Heroes is up to $35,000 for anybody that works at a brick-and-mortar Florida employer. It's not even Heroes anymore. It's anybody that works in a Florida employer. But most people don't know that, right? But these are the kind of things that when we sit down with you, we can go over with you all of the different processes, all of the different, explain to you the purchasing process, what's going to go into it. So you're not surprised after you sign on the dotted line. Again, there's a lot of agents out there right now that will just, let's go, and put you in the car, and then, you're going to get whatever they happen to see, maybe. I don't know. We're not willing to compromise our standards of practice. I am actually looking forward to the new change where by law there has to be a buyer broker contract, because I think that's going to benefit you, the consumer, because there's a lot of realtors that are going to be leaving the business because they don't, quite frankly, know how to do the business. And I think it's good for you. Again, don't sell yourself short. Spend the time. Do the research on your own also, but spend time with a professional that is willing to explain to you what is going on in the market, the pros and cons of a certain type of house, the hidden costs of buying a house, all those sort of things, of not just buying, but also owning a house. That is what's going to work out the best for you, and that's the way we do business here. So we'd love to talk to you. Don't have to use this, but at least let us talk to you, because that's what's best for you. Hey, if you enjoy Questions from Chalo, why don't you be a part of it? Let us know what you want to hear about, and Chalo will ask me right here on live TV, kind of.